Good morning. Today is February 26th, 2021, and this is your coffee break update presented by the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce. As always, I am Marshall Haprop, the Communications Specialist for the Mojave Desert Air Quality Management District and the Chair-elect of the Board of Directors for the Greater High Desert Chamber. We are thrilled to welcome you to this week's update, which is sponsored by High Desert Scrubs, Quick Quack Car Wash, and Watson Land Company. We're going to tell you a little bit more about our sponsors in a little bit. We have two special presentations for you this morning. We're going to hear from Brightline West about their plans to connect Southern California to Las Vegas with an 80-minute train ride. But first, we have Victor Valley College here with us talking about their first of its kind program, It Takes a Village. So to kick things off, please welcome VVC's Director of Special Grant Programs, Amber Allen. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. I am Amber Allen, Director of Special Grant Programs at Victor Valley College. I oversee our program for current and former foster youth and our program, It Takes a Village, for our housing insecure students. So with me to present today are Sean Smith and Daniel Herrera. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Herrera. It's a pleasure. Thank you, all of you, for being here and for letting us present. We're super excited what we're doing here with our nonprofit Searchlight in collaboration with Victor Valley College and Dr. Sean Smith with his Symba Center. And again, like Marshall mentioned, it's a brand new program, something completely brand new, something we built from the ground up, working with the college to meet specifically the needs of the individuals we're working with in the high desert. So again, thank you everyone for being here.
Hi everybody, I'm Sean, the director of Simba Center. I'm a pharmacist and we operate a free clinic here in the high desert. Again, it's been an amazing journey to kind of start this project with the team. And so we're gonna share with you guys a little bit about the program today and how we're all involved. Thank you.
All right, perfect. So our program is called It Takes a Village. So the actual title of the grant that the college received is called the Homeless and Housing Insecurity Pilot Program. So we were one of 14 community colleges in the state of California to award this funding. It was based off community needs. So as all of you know, we have a high housing insecure population here in the high desert. So that enabled us to receive funding to support students who are experiencing homelessness. So the funding is about $700,000 every year for 3 years. We are in the middle of year 2. So basically the purpose of the funding is to allow students to focus on academics by having their housing needs met, providing them with stable housing and additional supports. So it's not just putting them into a home or putting them into a secure housing situation, but also helping them to sort of get on their feet, become independent, and achieve their goals as well. So as we were developing the program, we had some non-negotiables, things that were really, really important to us on the team. And one of them was empowering students. We didn't want them to feel like we were just giving them something. We wanted them to feel like we're helping them get on their way. And, you know, obviously there are circumstances that affect students that have put them in a position of being homeless. And so our job is to help them mitigate those challenges to become independent people and to graduate from Victor Valley College with a degree, a certificate, or a transfer. So we're empowering them. Typically, they're coming to us disempowered. Oftentimes, they don't even want to have the conversation about being homeless. That's something that they leave out. But you know, with the process we've set up in place, it's opened the door for people to be more honest and to actually receive the help because they're letting us know what their needs are. So we're trying to move away from a shelter model. The model that we've basically created here is a personal model. It's an individualized model. It's students come to us with different challenges that have brought them to where they are. So it's important for us to take those into consideration as we're building a program specifically for that student. Everything we're doing is not cookie cutter. So person A and person B have completely different plans. And that's intentional because they have different needs. And so with that, we're providing the housing, but in addition to that, we have the wraparound services through Searchlight and through Symba Center. So we're meeting their health needs, we're meeting their physical needs, we're meeting their psychological needs, any basic needs as well. So, we're making sure that we're truly helping them to become, a citizen, to help get them on their feet. And also this will affect their families. So if they're bringing children along with them, if they have, siblings and things like that, this will help them to, to stand out in their family and to get on their feet. So, and ultimately it's to help create a place called home. And home is not just where there's a bed. Home is where I can feel comfortable, where I can take a deep breath. As with all of us, when we go home at night from our long days, we want to just relax. And we want the students to have that same feeling as well. So as we're creating these places for students, we're taking all of that into consideration. So how does it take, how do we get that done? We have to have a team. And so as we were developing this program, that's sort of where the title came in of It Takes a Village. The three of us cannot do this by ourselves. It's impossible. It's quite an undertaking, and we're very aware and we're very honest with each other. And so, it's been amazing to see the people who have.
Amber, you're unmuted, or you're muted.
I don't know how that happened. So it's amazing to see people who have kind of come forward who want to be a part of this. And so this is sort of our current partnerships now, but it grows basically weekly. So it's about boots on the ground. It's about people who are not just going to come to the table and say, I want to be a part of this, so my name can be, on shirts or on logos and things like that. It's about people who are actually who are action oriented. So we have God's Hand Extended, we have Restore Unity. Those are nonprofits in our community that have come through. They help us with clothing. They go get furniture for us. They help us to move students into secure housing environments. And then, me as representing the college, Symba Center with Sean, Searchlight with Daniel, and then IEHP as well has come to the table. They are partnering with us to help get this off the ground. And hopefully, by the end of our presentation, you'll be wanting to partner with us. And it says I keep getting muted. That's why I'm sorry. So hopefully you will also come to the table and be able to contribute, and we'll talk about ways that you can do that.
Perfect. Now this is where I'll segue in. So again, my name is Daniel Herrera. I'm the Director of Operations here at Searchlight Society. So when we created this program, we wanted to make sure we had a streamlined referral process. We wanted to cut all the red tape. We wanted to take a step back and realize, hey, what takes forever in a traditional program? And that's always the referral, the intake process. You have an intake, and then it takes 20, 30, even a month, up to multiple months, depending on what county you're in, to get into housing. So we sat there and we looked at that. And again, built everything from the ground up. So we started with the referral process. So the school has their own internal referral. So any faculty, regardless if you're a custodian all the way up to the president himself, any faculty member can sit there and submit a referral for any student they believe may be struggling with housing, or they just want us to see if we can assist. So what they do is they submit their referral. It gets sent over to our internal system, and the school conducts their vetting. They have a conversation. They ensure that these students are actually in need. From there, they send them on over to us. We created an intake questionnaire. Very comprehensive, takes about an hour long, and we're going through multiple domains. But to make things even better, we wanted a living document. So every student we interact with, that's a new challenge. That's something new we learn. And we think to ourselves, is that something we should automatically be asking? So instead of having some static form, we sit there and every week we have a meeting and we determine, do we need to add new components to our intake to make sure we're ensuring that we're meeting the needs of each student? So right now we look, just as some of the things we look at are housing, medical, substance use, alcohol and drugs, transportation, employment, family dynamics, psychosocial dynamics, such as strength-based. That's a huge new component, including we do person-centered as well as individualized needs. So these are brand new social service ideologies and methods that are coming to light, and that even the county, for LA County, Los Angeles County, throughout the state of California, they're pushing towards more client-centered, person-centered planning. And that's something that we jumped on top of, and we're ensuring that we're at least leading the front in terms of adding these new components here in San Bernardino County, and specifically in the high desert. So after we conduct our intake assessment, we sit there and we move into our individual program plan. So this is something that's completely brand new in terms to working with individuals who are experiencing homelessness. This IPP is something you see with individuals with developmental disabilities. So the Department of Disability Services uses this. This is nothing brand new to them, but it's brand new to homeless service providers. So to this date, we have not met another homeless service provider who works with a round table. Say they bring multiple professionals. So on our team, we have a social worker, we have myself, which I'm in charge of the residential component. We bring in Amber for the education component, Sean Smith for the medical component, and we write up a plan and we determine how can we best meet the needs of these students. We write up a step-by-step plan. So our case managers, when they're working with students, they're not just helping them apply for CalFresh. They're not just helping them connect to critical services. They're teaching them, they're showing them, because once this program's done, once they move on to a higher level of education where they're no longer at Victor Valley College, we don't want them to be in need of, oh, well, my case manager applied for me, so I don't know how to do it. No, we show them how to do it. So when they move on later in life, they're empowered rather than given just a handout. So that's our huge motto here, is that we need to empower the individuals we're working with. We can't just give them a handout. And that's why we have that case management component. So in terms of our housing process, we wanted it very simple, nothing complicated. So we do that intake system that we just mentioned. And then from there, depending on those students' needs and their answers, we have a risk factor. So we find out, are they in an imminent need for housing, or can they wait a little longer in their current housing situation? And we do a comprehensive training. It's a 7-day training with our case managers, just in classroom, finding out how to do these things, how to understand these things. But on top of that, just on-the-job training. Every day is a new day for our team to learn new items. So that's something, again, we wanted it to be adaptable for our community. So after that intake system, we determine, do they need immediate housing? If they need immediate housing, guess what? Emergency placement. We're able to rapidly rehouse our students same day. So if a student tells me they're living on the street, they're living in their car, which many of them have, we send them to one of our partner hotels to provide emergency placement so they can be stable. A lot of these students have already started in school, and it's the simple fact that conventional homelessness, we think, oh, it's just someone who, is down on their luck, someone who may be on drugs, someone who put themselves in that situation. But right now we're dealing with a lot of individuals who are in youth, who have no say, or who don't have the entire say, I should say, of their life and their choices in terms of different factors at play. So we want to help them, and we want to sit there and empower them. And right now our goal is to sit there and help them get their education. So by doing that, that's why we do that emergency placement. But then we also have individuals who may not be in the best suitable living environment, but they're stable. And what we do is we check in with them and find out, when do you need to move out? Are you losing your housing at the end of the month? Are you doing this? Typically what you'll see is, oh, I'm losing housing at the end of the month, and an organization will house them within the week. We want to be fiscally responsible. We want to make sure that we're making our money stretch there, also meeting the needs. So we needed to find that balance. And that's what I really enjoy about working with the college, working with Dr. Sean Smith, because we found that balance. So we determined, well, if you're moving out at the end of the month, we'll rapidly rehouse you 2 days from your move out date, and we can be fiscally responsible by doing that. But if anything changes before that date, we'll rapidly rehouse you. So there's a contingency at play. So we just always want to make sure, my apologies, we always want to make sure that we're sitting there and getting these components there. So after either that emergency placement or that pending placement, everyone will move into one of two categories: apartment housing or shared living. So I want to say, yeah, we're going to put all students in one home. It's going to be dorm style. Realistically, we have students that we're meeting with a lot of needs. I have students with intellectual disabilities, mental health disabilities, who do not have a social component and do not work well and mesh well with other students. On top of that, we have students who are higher risk compared to other students who are closer to graduate. So we want to make sure that we are not sitting there and placing people together who are not compatible, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we have higher positive outcomes and higher reporting numbers, so we can ensure that each student is successful in their own program. But that also takes place in finding out how we should house them and who we should house them with. After we conclude all that, our ultimate goal is to get students into independent housing where they're self-sufficient and where they can live on their own.
All right, everybody. So after the initial intake process and the housing component is met for the students, then I am kind of brought in to provide a comprehensive health assessment. So I have a team with me, and we provide medical services, and then we make sure that the students have access to dental services, behavioral health services. We also help them apply for IHP and kind of guide them to find a primary provider if they do qualify for IHP. And so we provide this assessment initially, and then any issues that the students have, they have access to our organization around the clock, 24/7 for follow-up, anything that comes up. The other component that's really important right now is COVID-19 compliance. So as these students are put in housing, they're going to be grouped together, right? They're not going to be living alone. It's going to be a group of students, maybe 4 or 5 living in a home that we're going to rent. And so really important for us to make sure that these houses are COVID-19 compliant. So we're using county guidance and Center for Disease Control guidance to make sure we're developing protocols to ensure the safety of not only the students, but also the staff, Searchlight Society, and the Victor Valley College greater community, and the greater high desert. It's also really important to provide education for these students. So the protocols are more in place for the staff, and the education is really important for the students. Obviously, these are teenage students mostly, and so it's very difficult to get this population to adhere to social distancing and wearing masks and kind of stay at home and kind of following the different ordinances that the state is providing us. So that's also really important. And then along with the COVID-19 compliance for the individual homes, we're also going to be providing COVID-19 testing. We have a pretty cool machine that gives us test results within 15 minutes. So what we're going to be doing when the students move into these homes, we're going to be testing them at baseline and then every other week on a consistent basis to again, even though we have a protocol in place for social distancing and mask wearing, it's really important to continue to test everybody, not only the students, but also Searchlight Society staff, Victor Valley College staff that are frequently coming to the homes, frequently interacting with the students to make sure that everyone's health is kind of the first priority. So that's our role with Simba Center, and I'm a faculty member at Western University College of Pharmacy. So I'm bringing students from Orange County and LA County out to the high desert to serve in this capacity. And so far they have had an amazing learning experience, and we're excited to continue this program in partnership with the college and Searchlight Society to make sure that our community is developing the youth and giving them a trajectory that leads to success.
So our current data. So currently we have 33 referrals. So that means we have 33 students in the pipeline, but that doesn't include students with family. That doesn't include, the number doesn't include students and their family members, nor if they have children, which we do have students with children. So as of right now, we have been able to provide 100%, provide services to 100% of the referrals we received. So we have not had to turn anyone away. With the occasion of one student we did, however, because we truly feel like it takes a village to help our students, we helped that student become in compliance in order to gain access to this program. So as of right now, 100% of the students we've received and the referrals we have received, we are providing services to them. For our youth, so 67% of our population is youth. So more than half of the individuals we're working with are youth. They're young. They are former foster youth. So we are working with a lot of students here who are on the younger side of the spectrum, who are typical and just going to college and have faced ruts in life, whether that's because family members or other components there. From there, we're working with adults who are 33%. 33% current census for our adults. So a lot of things we're seeing is that this pandemic is crippling a lot of the adults, a lot of the families, a lot of individuals that we're working with. This pandemic has a huge component to it, and they're getting hit hard. And these are individuals who have tried going to college to better themselves, to sit there and get access to higher levels of education, to further their career or to further their opportunities in life. And then from there, we just started receiving veteran students. So we have 3 students identified as military veterans. So now we're breaking into that area, because now we're getting students who are part of that veteran population who are experiencing housing insecurity and or homelessness. So some of the identified trauma, so like I mentioned, this is not conventional homelessness. This is not what we typically see, hear, or believe. These are individuals who have experienced intimate partner violence, formerly known as domestic violence. So some of them are fleeing, some of them have been victims of physical, emotional, mental, and even sexual abuse in their homes. On top of that, to make matters worse, we have a lot of foster care, former foster youth who are aging out of foster care. So what you see is a lot of foster families are no longer receiving funding for them. So now that they don't get paid for them, they're making them move out. So that's a lot of our foster youth who are experiencing different components like that. And that's something that's out of their control. We have a lot of students who are going to college, who are sitting there achieving their degree, working towards their education, but all because they were unfortunately placed in the foster care system, something that not in their control. Now they're getting another disadvantage to them. So again, this is not conventional homelessness. This is not someone who sat there and made negative life choices. These are people who sat there and were given the cards they were dealt and who are trying to sit there and make better out of them. And then on top of that, also family dynamics. So again, a lot of the family dynamics in these homes are seeing there's physical abuse, emotional, mental, and sexual abuse. So there's a lot of different traumas these these students are going through. But at the same time, even though they experience this trauma, they're still pushing forward and going for their degree, trying to better themselves. So that in of itself just shows us that these are students who are not allowing homelessness, not allowing the cards they were dealt to dictate their path and their life. They're trying their best. And that's why we love our program. And we're here to help them because of the simple fact that we're able to sit there and work with such amazing students.
All right. So how can you help? Why are we here? We need help. As you can see, this is quite an undertaking. We're all up to the challenge, but we can't do it by ourselves. As we're continuing this work, each student is almost like an onion, and there's so many layers to them that we did not anticipate. And so as we're working with each student and we're sort of peeling back layers to really help them, we're seeing how we need help. We need more people at the table. We need more resources to better help the students, to put them back on their feet and get them support. So for example, one of the program needs is we're getting houses for students, right? We're putting students into shared living environments. Well, they don't have anything. Oftentimes they're coming with the clothes on their back sometimes, or trash bags full of clothes. They don't have couches and beds and bedding and things like that. So we have to get this stuff. So in addition to serving the students directly with case management or providing support for them, we have to also identify resources to build homes for them. And so even if we're able to pay for a house, we can get them into the house. Well, we can't put them in an empty house. We want them to move into a place where they can feel comfortable. And so this is a significant part of what we're doing. We're working closely with IEHP. They've already given us basically a red phone. So if we have students that do not have IEHP or Medi-Cal, we can call a direct number and get them access and registered ASAP. And so basically a part of what we're trying to do is get rid of the red tape. You know, we're dealing with people who have immediate needs, who need help right now. We can't wait 2 weeks to get them connected to things. We need them to get connected right now. And so everything that we're trying to do is expedited. One way to best describe the work that we're doing is we run. We're literally running. We run from when we start to when we end. I probably talk to Daniel at least 6 times a day, dealing with different student issues. And so that shows the communication. We're open in communication, but it's a lot. And so we're also aware, and we have the ability for our own mental health to say we need help. And there's no shame in that. So as you can see, there's a lot of needs on here for the homes. The students oftentimes don't have transportation, and although they're VBC students, they have a bus pass. If they're far away, it could take them 2 hours to get to the campus, or 2 hours to get to the Social Security office, or things like that. So basically, you know, we're open to receiving help. Oftentimes they don't have clothes for themselves or their children, and so we're working with some of our nonprofits to set up, you know, clothing closets, and so so students have access to that. So this is a by no means an exhaustive list. This is just a basic list. There's obviously more things than just on here. And then in addition to that, there's other ways, direct student support. So there's things that we can pay for on the grant side, but they really just want it to be the case management and the housing piece. And so what that means is we can't pay for their student fees. So potentially, you know, and it doesn't seem like much, maybe $30 a semester, right? That doesn't seem like a lot, but for a student who has nothing and no income, that's a lot of money, which could prevent them from continuing their education. In addition, books, supplies, calculators. I had a student that said one of her textbooks was $900. And that is astronomical, even for those of us who have full-time jobs. So I can't imagine what a barrier that is for our students. And then we also are not allowed to pay for food, unfortunately. So it's like we can meet one of the basic needs, but then we're leaving out a huge component. If you don't have housing, typically food insecurity is also there too. So just trying to connect them to resources like transportation, I mentioned, gas. So that's you know, let's sponsor a student. We have plenty of students that need assistance, so that's an option there. And then monetary support. If you just want to just donate financially, that's amazing as well. The money directly goes to the students. There's no like middleman. It directly goes to help them. And then supplies. So based off the needs list I just showed, but also school supplies, notebooks and pencils and pens and things like that. And then on the program consulting, the community connection side, we need help. And I think the more of us that are at the table who are truly invested and who truly care, that's the main part of it, is being there to actually to really care and to get the work done. And I'm so grateful that we have people at our table now who will show up. If we have a refrigerator that needs to go get picked up, I can call Aaron from Restore Unity and he'll go pick up the refrigerator. Like here in my office now at the college, I have furniture. I donated my furniture we got a new bedroom set, my husband and I, so I donated my furniture. And we have refrigerators and we have a bunch of stuff here in preparation for when we get the house. So we need a lot of things. So that's just a couple of things. And it is tax deductible because it's obviously a donation.
Solid. So before we end our presentation, we are super excited because we want to make something sustainable and we want to make something brand new for the high desert. So we're looking at eventually converting our program into a tiny home program where we're offering students the opportunity to live in some very beautiful homes where we sit there and we place them and we do a communal style living where as long as they're enrolled in school, going towards higher levels of education, we'll sit there and we'll start making tiny homes for them. Right now, we're in the conceptualization phase. So we're looking at different models. We're reviewing different building schemes. But again, we want something. We don't want sheds. I don't know if a lot of you read the news for Los Angeles. They spent like $100,000 for a little shed that fits 2 people. And it's not aesthetically pleasing. That's not what we want in the high desert. We want to show that we can do something brand new. We can do something innovative, and it doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to be an eyesore. It can be something beautiful and something that our whole community can take pride in. So we are super excited because, you know, we've been working on this, and this is a dream that the college, myself, our nonprofit, everyone we're working with loves this idea because, again, low cost factor. On top of that, we're providing $100,000. I just seen someone's comment. Yes, $100,000 for a shed, and they thought that was a deal. So another conversation for another day. But yes, so it's the simple fact that we can do this, and we can sit there and make a huge impact on the lives that we're working with. We can set the precedent for other counties, for even other states, because I know that we can do it here in San Bernardino County, let alone the high desert. The high desert is a very close-knit community. And I know just working with each and every single organization, business, and partner out there, everyone can come together and sit there and make this dream a reality and help those in need.
All right, that's all we've got. I'm sure we took enough of your time, but that's what we've got. That's our program here. We're developing. We're all passionate about the work that we do, and we're movers and shakers. We're trying to affect students' lives directly and change the trajectory of their lives. And so if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. If you do not know where to start, just contact me. We can have a conversation. And feel free to reach out to us. I can share the PowerPoint with Mark and he can disseminate it, or you can just contact me directly on whatever works best. But we're excited. We've got this going. And just so everybody knows, this program has only been up since January 4th of this year. So we have 32 students in the pipeline, and most of those came during our winter session, which is typically about half or a little bit less than half than dominant session. So we just started our spring term, almost been 2 weeks. So I anticipate these numbers are going to continue to go up, especially as the word gets out, which is our intent. We want to help those who are in need. So please, please, please reach out if you have any questions, or if you want us to present somewhere, we're always willing to do that as well. And thank you for your time. We appreciate you inviting us to come. We're very grateful for that. So thank you so much, and have an amazing weekend, and happy Friday.
Thank you so much, Amber and Daniel and Sean. Thank you. That was a phenomenal presentation. You guys are doing tremendous work here in the high desert, and we are enormously grateful for you and for the work that you're doing. We're going to put your contact information in the chat window in a couple of minutes. Someone asked about an itemized list of needs. So we'll direct people to reach out to you guys, and if they want specific information, they can get it back from you. And if you want to send that PowerPoint to Mark, we would welcome that as well. We appreciate it. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Be safe.
You too. Have a great weekend. We are going to continue with our coffee break update this morning. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We have 90 people right now in our chat room, our Zoom room. This is great. We are thankful that everyone chose to spend some of their Friday morning with us. Of course, getting this wonderful information. We have some more information for you, a great presentation coming up in just a few minutes. I wanted to invite everyone who is able, meaning everyone who is either on a smartphone using the Zoom app, or on a computer, either a desktop or a laptop. If you would, I'm going to give everyone, let's say like 30 seconds. If you would please introduce yourself in the chat, just simply your name and your company. If you want to throw in an email address or a phone number, feel free to do that too. Just real quick, just your name and who you're representing. It would be great to see all of the entities that are represented here, see everyone's name. Of course, we see them in the participants window, but if everyone wants to do that, like I said, I'll give everyone 30 seconds. Just introduce yourself. Wow, this is great. Thank you so much. I'm looking at all of your names and all of your companies literally as you type them. So thank you so much for introducing yourselves. That was a staple when we met in person before, of course, everything that happened last year. That was a staple of our Friday morning coffee, and it seemed like a great opportunity, especially with so many people here with us this morning, to bring that back. And in this, of course, in this form, it's a little bit different. We will get back in person. I have absolute faith in that. We will be meeting in person. There may or may not be coffee involved. But thank you so much for introducing yourselves. We're going to move forward. We're fortunate to have 3 sponsors for this week's coffee break update. If you are interested in being a sponsor for a coffee break update, it's very simple. Simply contact our double O CEO, Mr. Mark Creffield, and he will tell you how to do that. You can reach Mark. You ready for this? Mark at ghdcc.com. We have that new domain name set up, and he is receiving email at that, as are Ruby and Jenny and Sonia. He put them in the chat a little bit ago, but I'm sure he could do that again too, just so we can stay caught up on that. If you need to reach out to anyone at the Chamber, you can do that at their new email addresses. But of course, if you want to be a sponsor, contact Mark and he'll tell you how to do that. First up, we want to introduce you to High Desert Scrubs. Do we have anyone from High Desert Scrubs who is here with us on the call this morning? If you are here, would you please introduce yourself or say so in the chat? If you did already, I'm sorry I missed it. All right, it looks like unfortunately we don't have anyone joining us from High Desert Scrubs this morning. But I wanted to say anyways that we're thankful for their sponsorship. And I wanted to tell you that High Desert Scrubs is a uniform and accessories supplier serving the High Desert community. They carry a variety of brands such as Prestige, Dress A Med, Material Girl by Medgear, Cherokee, and Angel, just to name a few. They offer alterations and embroidery for the XX small through 8X sizes that they carry. They also promise a price match guarantee. They're open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday at 16330 Walnut Street, Unit 3 in Hesperia. That's the plaza at the northeast corner of Walnut and 3rd Avenue. Or you can call them at 800-404-1246. That's High Desert Scrubs. And thank you again to High Desert Scrubs for sponsoring. We also are fortunate to have with us this week, again, sponsoring this week's Coffee Break Update, Quick Quack Car Wash. And here to talk to you is our friend Shannon. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. How are we doing all today?
We're great. Great to see you. Thank you so much for sponsoring this week.
Well, thank you so much. So we just wanted to reach out here from Quick Quack and say how pleased we were and the warm welcome that we got to receive for our kickoff for our new location there in Victorville. Monday night, we were blessed to work with the Hilton family, and the community really did come out and get involved and made some great donations during our free car washes that hour. And we were happy to match every single dollar that came in and give Marcus Hilton and his family a check for $8,000. So we kicked off our 12 days with that. We did our very unique virtual ribbon cutting for those of you that were able to take part. Super appreciate that. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And right now we are in the whole slew of 12 days of free car washes. So we started that on Wednesday morning. First 100 customers all got goodie bags and breakfast burritos from El Pescador, and Victorville Motors was there as well with some treats for some guests. So it was just a fun celebration. 5 lucky winners did walk away with 1 year of free car washes. And we're seeing close to 1,000 cars every single day that we're just giving away free car washes. So if you haven't yet, you still have time through March 7th. Come on by the Victorville location there at Quick Quack. Don't drive dirty in the high desert. Stop by, get your car wash for free, and reach out to us for any of your needs. We're very big in the community. I will be reaching out to the presenters that went a moment ago. I have a lot of connections and groups that we work with on a regular basis. So I'd love to connect everybody together. But whatever we can do for you guys, don't just wait for our next location to open up, which will be soon. Just reach out. All my information's in the chat. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Yeah, that ribbon cutting a few days ago was excellent. Technical difficulties are just a part of the Zoom era. I think we all have accepted them for the most part. But that aside, yeah, it was a great ceremony. That presentation was extraordinary. And by the way, I had a chance to go try out the car wash yesterday afternoon, and those vacuums are crazy. They are so strong. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. That's all I can say. It was crazy. So thank you so much for sponsoring this week's Coffee Break Update. Next up, we have sponsoring, we have Watson Land Company, and here to talk about Watson Land Company is Trini Jimenez. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Trini Jimenez. I'm the Vice President of Public Affairs for the Watson Land Company. Watson Land Company is a commercial industrial real estate company. We develop and own industrial real estate throughout Southern California and on the East Coast as well. In the Inland Empire, most of our holdings are logistics facilities. We own buildings that are mostly used as logistics facilities, and we're very proud to be part of the goods movement chain that keeps goods and services going throughout this difficult time. In the Inland Empire, most of our holdings are in the city of Chino, but we also have some facilities in the Fontana area as well as Redlands, but always looking to develop in new areas where folks welcome companies who create good paying jobs as our company does. And again, if you have any questions regarding our company or the warehousing industry or the goods movement industry during these difficult times and how it's such a crucial supply chain to everything that we need at the moment, I'd be happy to field those questions. I'll put my email into the chat, and very happy to join the High Desert Chamber this morning. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Trini, and thank you to Watson Land Company for sponsoring this week's Coffee Break Update. Again, if you're interested in sponsoring, please reach out to Mark and he will tell you how to do that. And speaking of Mark, here is Mark to talk about an update for the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce. Hey, Mark.
Hey, thank you, Marshall. Good morning, everyone. Before I get to my update, I want to make one special introduction and then another special introduction. So I guess two introductions. First off, what I haven't mentioned yet with the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce, that we were very excited to have Sonia Miranda join the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce staff. She was originally the office manager with the Adelanto Chamber, and we're very happy that she's now part of our team. Sonia, you want to say hello or anything? Put you on the spot.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Internal Services Coordinator, and I am here to service the Greater High Desert and all your needs. Please reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sonia. Great addition to our team. And now my second introduction, which is more of a welcome back. It is my pleasure to welcome back Jenny Flores from maternity leave. And I believe she has a special guest this morning. Jenny, you there?
Hi, Mark. Thank you so much. Yes, I have baby Joy with me. Let me see if you guys can see her. This is Joy Daniela Flores. Thank you to everyone that helped out and held down the fort so I could have her. She came a little bit early and surprised us, but I'm happy to be back. But we wanted everybody to get a chance to see why I was out. So anyways, good to be back. Thank you, Mark.
You're very welcome. We almost shut down the chamber while you were on maternity leave. So glad you're back. You're definitely filling in the gaps on things that we were missing. And, you know, congratulations to you and Joseph and baby Joy. And what a blessing. Well, just a few quick updates, folks. The High Desert Food Collaborative, through our chamber member, High Desert Second Chance, is having a ribbon cutting in celebration of the food bank's cold storage expansion on Monday, March 1st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is a virtual event. In today's e-blast, it goes out at 1 p.m. There's a link that you can register if you'd like to attend, or for more information, just visit highdesertfoodcollaborative.com. Our next Valley Morning Insight will be on this coming on Wednesday, March 3rd at 8 a.m. Our guest speaker is Assemblyman Thurston Smitty Smith, and you can also register for this in the link provided in the e-blast. And we thank our two presenting sponsors, Desert Community Bank, Hesperia branch, and Clinton Alford Farmers Insurance. Our next coffee break update will be 2 weeks from today, and we will have our usual updates, and the city and the town updates will be back. And we will also have a special presentation from Chicago Title, and their subject is historical times in the real estate market. And then lastly, on Tuesday, March 16th at 5 p.m., we're going to have our first after hours mixer virtually. More information will be coming out on that real soon. Everyone have a wonderful Friday. Thank you so much for being here today. And back to you, Marshall.
Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We've got a busy week next week. We already have a busy March planned. This is great. And Jenny, for everyone who had to, got to help Mark while you were out, we saved you some gray hairs because we have them now. So thank you. Thank you for that. So we're gonna give you the other special presentation right now. We are very fortunate to have joining us from Brightline West, Greta Seidman. She's the Director of Public Affairs, and we're going to hear about this high-speed train. Good morning, Greta.
Good morning. I am going to share my screen, just a moment. There we go. Okay, so thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here today. I met Mark a couple of weeks ago when I was in the area, and I spent 7 years as a staff member for a local chamber out in Vegas. So this group is very near and dear, and I'm really excited to be here and share a little bit more about the project and where we are this year, our plans for this year, engagement opportunities with the community. I am based in Las Vegas, but I am in Southern California frequently, so about every other week. So if there's an opportunity, for us to connect at some point, whether it's on Zoom or as things open up a little bit, I am really looking forward to that opportunity. But kind of wanted to start out today with just a little bit of background on Brightline as a company. So Brightline is a company envisioned by Fortress Investments. It's the first private passenger rail company in more than a century, with the mission of improving the way we travel. So our inaugural line is Brightline in South Florida. It currently connects Miami to West Palm Beach and is currently expanding north to Orlando, which covers a corridor of about 235 miles. We're about halfway done with that extension to Orlando, which will go into the Orlando airport, and we just announced that we're building on a station at Disney Springs in Orlando, which brings me a lot of excitement for the next time I'm in that area, and are currently negotiating with Florida for an expansion to Tampa, which would ultimately provide access to about half of the state's residents, not counting the visitors. So this essentially is Brightline's kind of model, connecting city pairs that are too short to fly, but maybe a little too far to drive comfortably. So we've identified about 10 to 12 of these city pairs, as you see on the map, but are really focused on finishing out our South Florida expansion and the Brightline West corridor between LA and Las Vegas. So one of the big differentiators, I think, is that Brightline is really hyper-focused on the overall experience of the line. So a lot of our folks have hotel and hospitality backgrounds, and I think it shows certainly in our Florida line, as you can see in some of these photos. On our trains, passengers have free Wi-Fi, the stations are clean and bright, there's plenty of legroom, a cheery and inviting atmosphere. So it's really overall a very welcoming and fun hospitality experience, whether you're traveling for business or pleasure. Our goal is to provide a safe and comfortable trip of choice. So Brightline, once we acquired the project a few years ago when it was known as Express West, it was what we call late stage development, had already received a record of decision and approvals from the Federal Railroad Administration. So the project had a really good start when we acquired it. So we spent the next 18 months finalizing engineering and permitting, getting that connection between Las Vegas and the Victor Valley more complete. And this is the project that's kind of always been talked about. I know it's been multiple iterations over the years. But we also, as we were working on that right-of-way piece, we also worked to minimize the impact of the route on that existing right-of-way. So we moved from a double track model to mostly single tracks. And we'll have some areas throughout the corridor that are double tracks to allow for passing. And we moved the route in the I-15 corridor. So either we'll be operating to the side or in the median of the highway in a dedicated, enclosed, and protected rail corridor with no at-grade crossings. Another big thing we did was you can't have a train without stations. So we acquired station land in Las Vegas. It's located on the south end of the Las Vegas Strip. And in Apple Valley, we're going to be located off the I-15 and Dale Evans Parkway. Something else I also like to note is our operations and maintenance facility. So this is where our trains are going to be cleaned and serviced, and also where we'll keep the supplies and items we need to service the actual rail corridor itself, is going to be co-located with our station in Apple Valley. And late last year, another thing we did that's not on here is we rebranded from Express West to Brightline West, aligning more with our inaugural line, and I think causing some more confusion, but I think we're on our way. So right away, we kind of knew that we wanted to extend that line from its original destination. It's been our mission to get direct access to downtown LA and greater access into the LA region. And we can do that through 2 access points, which you'll kind of see on this, this map. The first is a long-term discussion to link through Palmdale, which would connect into the California high-speed rail system when it's built, as well as MetroLink. But we're actively pursuing the connection between Victor Valley and Rancho Cucamonga. So this is attractive because you can enter that entire MetroLink system, including downtown LA, through a station in Rancho Cucamonga. And our station there would serve as one point in a overall transportation hub. So it would be located, our station would be located adjacent to the existing MetroLink station, as well as bus systems and other transportation options. And there are various public and private partners that you may have heard are in discussion to connect the Ontario airport through an underground tunnel to this area as well. So really making it a true transportation hub in the area. So this year, our goals, to pursue that Victor Valley to Rancho Cucamonga extension. We're also going to be securing that initial leg of financing, and we are expected to break ground on that initial segment between Las Vegas and the Victor Valley this year, later on in the year. And then with all of these moving pieces, we are expecting about a 3-year construction timeline, which gives us a grand opening sometime in 2024, following our construction and testing process. So just a couple of fun numbers. We're expecting about 11 million passengers annually, from about 50 million from our ridership study that was conducted by a third party a couple of years ago. An addressable market of about 50 million one-way trips a year. Our train sets are all electric, zero emissions, so they're true high-speed trains, reaching speeds of up to 200 miles an hour, just depending on where we are along the route. The average ride time from between Vegas and LA is 3 hours. Between Victor Valley and Las Vegas is about 85 minutes. And again, as I mentioned, our expected grand opening year is 2024. So one of the really, really exciting things, I think, is our impact on local communities. So transportation and infrastructures are by and large create major economic impacts. And kind of just as a point of comparison, our system in Florida is going to create about 10,000 jobs. Our system between Southern California and Las Vegas is going to create about 40,000 construction jobs and 1,000 permanent jobs. And because of that operations and maintenance facility being located next to our station in Apple Valley, most of those jobs are going to be located in Southern California. And we're planning on working with local workforce development agencies, higher education institutions, and other partners as we get a little bit further down the line on some of these training and workforce development initiatives. It's one of those, it's something that we're really excited about, and I think is a great way to partner with the community and get these employees ready. The project is also going to create about $9 billion in economic impact and about $1 billion in tax revenue. And one of Brightline's key values is embracing and leading the way on green travel. You know, I mentioned our train sets, they're zero emission and fully electric. We're expecting to remove about 400,000 tons of CO2 from the atmosphere every year. And we've kind of extended that green brand promise into our stations, which, you know, you saw from the photos, kind of have that bright, modern, clean, fun way to travel, but we also meet or exceed LEED certification standards. We use sustainably sourced products wherever possible. So that promise of sustainability really extends into all aspects of our business. I also thought it was important for this group to kind of take you a little bit through how the alignment's going to look in California. So we split the 135-mile stretch between Apple Valley and Las Vegas, to State Line, into 3 very creatively named segments, so south, middle, north. From the South Station, which starts at our station, that will kind of run to the east of the I-15 as you leave that station, and then move into the median right in the Barstow area. And basically, from Barstow until State Line, we are running right in the median of the freeway, basically until a couple of miles into Nevada, where we shift to the east side of the freeway again. We've been working collaboratively with Caltrans on right-of-way, and you know, as we move further along into that construction and pre-construction process, working very closely with them as well as other partners on mitigating impacts to traffic during construction. And as we get closer to work beginning, we're really going to be focusing on communicating that construction process, timing, impacts. Our goal is to minimize surprises as much as possible regarding traffic impacts, especially around the I-15 corridor, because we know how important it is. So that kind of takes us through the alignment piece. And just in concluding, you know, we've also been working on building up our outreach infrastructure over the past few months. So we want to make sure it's as easy as possible to get a hold of us if you have questions or ideas, or you know, if there's an opportunity to collaborate. We want to make sure people can get a hold of us quickly. So we've set up a dedicated construction website, which is where we'll be posting the latest on schedules, design, construction, timelines, everything like that. And that's brightlinewestconstruction.com. There's also a place there to sign up for email updates, which we'll be launching in the next month. We also have a toll-free hotline established, and then a dedicated outreach inbox, outreach@brightlinewest.com. So we fielded questions on everything from job opportunities to if Elvis is going to be on the train, which has given me a lot of ideas. So there's, you know, we field all sorts of questions. We're also on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn using the handle Brightline West. And in concluding, thank you again for your time. In the next few months, I'm looking forward to getting to know you and the people and organizations in your communities. And if there are any people or groups you think would be beneficial for me to reach out to kind of give a version of this, please be sure to let me know. I'm happy to set up time. And I'll also put my personal contact information in the chat. So if a question pops up later, you know how to get a hold of me as soon as possible. So thank you so much for having me today. Looking forward to engaging with all of you in the community.
Thank you so much, Greta. This was great. I know we had a chance to meet, I think it was last week, just real briefly. And I know, and I keep hearing that you're engaging with so many people already in our desert. And, you know, of course, I know there's going to be more questions as you get further into the project, and we'll be happy to direct them. But at any time that you want to come back and again, talk to our membership and our viewers, please, by all means, just reach out to Mark. We're happy to have you again.
Absolutely.
Well, Marshall.
Yeah, Shannon. Yeah.
We have a very important question here from our 00 CEO. Okay.
Oh boy.
He wants to know: will the train be fully dedicated to the Las Vegas Raiders?
I feel like I should duck, even though I'm by myself in a room right now.
I know if your feed suddenly cut out,
it was a legitimate question, folks. Let her answer.
It is. We, you know, our line in Florida does have a lot of really fun themed trains for Miami themed sporting events. So I would imagine something similar for Raiders and Golden Knights events and fun things like that, as well as you know, events on both the Vegas side and the Greater High Desert side. So I think lots of room for collaboration there.
Uh-oh, everybody's challenging you now, Mark. We've got Raiders, we've got Denver Broncos. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Wow.
The fact that Ryan McCackern even put Denver Broncos in the chat is rather humorous. Anyway, sorry, but was there any other questions, Shannon, for Greta?
No, there's not. Lots of comments. Everybody take a look at the chat.
Yeah, lots of comments. Well, thank you again so much, Greta. We appreciate it. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are done with our presentations for you this morning. I want to say thank you again to High Desert Scrubs, Quick Quack Car Wash, and Watson Land Company for being our sponsors for this week's Coffee Break Update. Again, if you want to be a sponsor for a future Coffee Break Update, contact Mark Creffield. That's mark@ghdcc.com. And we will have this video up on our social media probably later today. And we will be back with you, of course, on March 12th for the next Coffee Break Update. And don't miss VMI on Wednesday morning, March 3rd. We'll be hearing from Assemblyman Thurston Smitty-Smith. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Have a safe weekend. Be healthy. I think Mark's going to make it so that you can unmute yourselves and say hello and goodbye. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Great weekend, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Have a great weekend. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Have a great weekend.
Hi, Stacy. Bye, everyone. Nice to see you.
Have a great day, everyone.